Welcome to Disability Advocates and Resource Center, lighting the path to independence for all, serving Pitt, Beaufort, and Wilson counties.
Hi, I'm Helen Pace, Executive Director of Disability Advocates and Resource Center, and our acronym for that is DARC. So if you hear people talk about DARC, it's us. We are located at 702A Johns Hopkins Drive here in Greenville, and we would like to invite everybody to come over to our facility and join us and see what we can do to help you in the community for you to have a more independent life.
First of all, DARC means to me Disability Advocates and Resource Center, and that is what we need to become, the advocates for persons with disabilities.
Our goal is to help all persons with all types of disabilities to live as independent of life as they possibly can. We'll have consumers that will call our office that are either newly released from the hospital, could be living with their disability for several years and maybe need some advocacy or peer mentoring or even referrals for medical equipment.
DARC can help the individual consumer try to become more independent in their everyday life skills if they are disabled, with transportation, housing needs. We can help research what is available in housing. We can also research transportation needs if they don't have transportation, and we do referrals in these areas. We also do independent living skills. If they have a particular type of skill they need more improvement on, whether it be self-help, cooking, educational, computer, budgeting. There's just whatever they need, we can take a look at it, and if we can't provide it, then maybe we can refer it to another source.
It's a place for advocacy for your different issues, whether it would be with your health care or your job or something to do with your specific case with your disability. But it's not just that they're advocating for you, they're helping you learn to advocate for yourself so that you can learn how to best help yourself and what you need.
Well, we serve all types of disabilities, from physical to developmental, vision impairments, hearing impairments, any type of disability you can think of.
DARC means to me service of the community, of those in need. Our organization is nonprofit. We're not here to turn numbers over or to see the most people. We're here to help who needs to be helped, no matter what. So that's what DARC means to me.
Basically what my job here is to peer mentor individuals that come in that may either need help as far as advocacy and talking about their disability, or maybe going through a rough time in their life and just need somebody that can kind of relate to what they're feeling and what they're going through.
I did not have the privilege of having an organization such as DARC, and if I had, it would have come in handy in multiple situations. First one I can think of is back when I was in school dealing with IEPs, individual education plans. I fought with the school systems multiple times over those. I would want it one way, they would want it another, and having to come to meet in the middle was not always pretty. Another aspect I can think of is when I got my driver's license. That was a huge obstacle to overcome, and if I had had an organization such as DARC, they could have told me about vocational rehabilitation, which I didn't know about at the time. They could have helped me with the process of getting my driver's license. Somewhere like DARC could have helped me with transitioning from high school, because I went to a tiny high school where my graduating class was 20, to ECU where you've got thousands. So they could have helped me with the transition of small town to welcome to Greenville. And then transitioning even from college life into the work field. So it would have been very, very helpful.
Really have a lot of services to provide. We have benefits specialists here on staff that does a great job with people's income when they are getting SSI or Medicaid, Medicare, and she does a wonderful job of advocating and making sure that the consumers get the benefits that they're entitled to.
You know, I'm here to help any individuals that are having difficulty you know, just working through the system. It might be with Department of Social Services or with Social Security or the Medicare system. They're getting letters and they don't understand, or they don't know where to turn, or they do have a child with a disability and they're not sure whether to file for disability for that child. I can maybe shed some light and give them some information and try to help them with those issues.
I sustained a motorcycle injury when I was 26 years old. I woke up not able to move. My arm had been ripped off my body. That was put back in place. I couldn't move that. Just a very helpless feeling. The nurses at the hospital were very great, but at the same time I didn't know what was going on. So to have someone come in and explain things to me a little better would have been a little helpful. The obstacles really physically for me were just working through the physical part, getting my body back to work as my spinal cord regenerated and came back. I was able to get most of my function back, which I was very grateful for. The obstacles came after the discharge from the hospital. What next? What now? I attacked physical therapy and vocational therapy with all my energy. What next when that's done? When that year or two is done, then what am I going to do? Then you need to be active in your community. That's where DARC will come in.
We provide the full core services of information and referral, peer mentoring, advocacy, and independent living skills training. We're building a nice lab here at the office for people to come in and be able to access the internet, work with the CCTV for the visually impaired, to be able to learn how to use a computer. We can teach you how to get started and maybe have a Facebook or email account if you don't have one at home. But, and we're adding other equipment as we speak, so we're going to have a nice lab for the consumers to come into and use.
Either through a brain injury or a spinal cord injury or some sort of accident that leaves you disabled to a point that it affects one or more lifestyle qualities. In other words, your ability to dress yourself, feed yourself, cook for yourself. In other words, remain independent. The first thing we're going to do is we will have somebody over at the hospital before you ever are released to explain to you just how your life has changed and what you're going to have to expect, what is going to be happening, not just physically, but mentally, spiritually. There will be somebody over there to talk to you. We will then have you come here when you're able, and we will walk you through the process of how to apply for Social Security, how to apply for Medicaid if it pertains, how to get the services you need and the places that you need to go to get those services. We will help you with your employer if necessary. We won't actually contact your employer, but we will help you, give you the tools you need to be able to discuss with your employer how your disability may change how you do your job. That's what DARC does.
We have a nice brochure here that tells who and what we are. And in the back is a donation form, so if you'd like to send a donation, and we use our donations to help consumers in time of need when they need durable medical equipment and they can't afford it. We do have the medical locker, but also for other emergency situations. Say they need to pay a deposit on a housing if they don't have any housing, and we can help kick in some money to help pay for that deposit or whatever. If they need a lift chair and their copay is way more than they can afford, we have kicked in and helped with that feature. So anything that we can do to help someone else when they can't help themselves is something that we just really like to do.
Our goal, or my personal goal, when I started the Independent Living Center out of my home, was that one day we would be a one-stop shop for persons with disabilities and families of persons with disabilities and employers of persons with disabilities, that would denote for them, you come to us and we'll help you solve your problems for you to live as independently as you choose to.
I love the staff here, I love the consumers, and I just have a passion for working with people. Sometimes when they can't help themselves and we can step in and help them get the services they need. It just makes a great day at the end of the day when you feel like you've just done even a little bit for someone and they appreciate it.
We are located at DARC, 702A Johns Hopkins Drive, Greenville, North Carolina, 27834. We can be reached at 252-355-6215 or 888-541-7227. For additional information, please visit www.darcnc.org.